Hey, good morning, you guys. So today is Monday morning. It's a little bit before 8 a.m. when I start my work day. And today we're gonna be doing a day in the life of a project manager. So I can share with you an average day that I would have in my life, because my life as a PM has been very, very crazy lately. So I hope this is a very good depiction of what a realistic day is like for those of you who are curious or who are also project managers and can just simply relate. So with that, let's get into it. Thank you so much for checking this video out, and if you are new to my channel, make sure you become a part of this community over here. You're gonna love it over here, okay? But make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. But before we get into it, I want to give you a word from today's sponsor. I actually have some outfits that were sent to me and I'm really excited to open. I've been waiting to open these on camera because I wanted to not spoil it for you guys, as well as give you an authentic perspective, and then I will also show you the items on as well, so you can kind of get a perspective of what they look like in the event you decide to get some for yourself. The brand is Pumi, and if you guys have seen other videos or other people talk about them, they basically have kind of made a name for themselves as being a really good dupe for Skims. So the reason why a lot of people like these and they talk about them is the price point is dope and the quality is really, really good. So I can for sure say, number one, I like the stretch. The material feels real good. This feels like something you can wear, rinse and repeat, okay? You can kind of see the material right here. And this is like their crop, so I could definitely get away with these with my blazers. I've been big into basics lately, so this is definitely speaking my language. That's the first piece. We've got a few items, so they actually really hooked me up. And I think the one thing I really like about these is I can wear these working from home and put them right underneath my suit coats and be good to go. So this one is a racer back, I think is what they call these, okay? I do like the material a lot. And it was a nice color, I like that color. I'm all for the nudes, the neutrals, the basics. Like, keep it simple, you feel me? Like, look at this color. This is nice. And this again is a crop. Yeah, I can tell I'm about to love these. You guys are gonna be seeing these pieces a lot. You're gonna see them a lot, I can already tell. So we got a white t-shirt bodysuit. Again, really good material. It's thick too. This is like thick. This doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. And these are mediums. Aw, shoot, okay. So y'all know I've been a real big fan of the pink lately. And I actually have a bodysuit similar to this. But I definitely like that this is thicker. These are thicker than the other brand. We're not gonna say the other brand's name again, but these are thicker than the other brand. This is a thong bodysuit, but I love the color. This is my color lately. I love it. And the V-neck bodysuit. These are nice. I like these a lot. So thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. So if you guys are interested in trying any of these items or going and checking them out, go ahead in my description box down below and I will have links for you. You can go directly there. And if you decide to pick anything out, make sure you come back and let me know what you think. Y'all already know when I like something, I'm gonna wear it. So I definitely for sure like these. I'm excited to get all these pieces. It's a lot of items too. They really hooked me up. But it's getting close to time to start my day. It's about 9:57 now. So why don't we go ahead and make our way into the office and I'll kind of prep you guys for what I'm gonna be doing today. So if you've watched my videos in the past and you've seen I use an iPad for most of my notes, I prefer Microsoft OneNote because, as I've mentioned before, I can use it on my iPad. I can also access it from my personal computer and from my work computer. So it's super convenient. You don't have to be on the computer you actually took the notes from when you're using it. And then I love a good notebook. I'm still a paper girl, so most of the time I grab my paper and I use my little paper notebook. I've had this one for a while though, so I'm kind of running out of clean sheets. But I will say I love paper. I do have a little trusty pen that I still like to use, and I think I've showed you guys before. This one from Bear and Fig, and I love my little pen. Like, it writes so good and it's so cute and it's heavy metal. Like, oh my gosh, it's just the most fire pen. So if you don't have one of those, definitely get you one. No, I'm just playing. They're really expensive, so, and it's definitely not worth it. But I did get one from my last boss. He put me on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get me one of those. You gotta get you one of those, right? But I just got out of a meeting. I had a couple of meetings this morning that were basically just touch bases we have on Monday mornings. And then we have like a daily stand-up meeting where we get together and talk about the most current up-to-date tasks, how things are going with those tasks, what the upcoming tasks are, if we're behind, if we're on track, if we need to do any mitigation, which basically means if we need to figure out ways to get stuff back on track or make sure stuff doesn't fall off. So it's just a planning strategy call for all of us. And then the PMs we have first thing in the morning, we have a call to touch base to basically just kind of figure out like, okay, what do we need to prioritize for the week? And your girl is the lead PM. So it's really important for me to be on my P's and Q's and make sure I have just an idea of every single thing that is important for the week that we need to focus on. Uh-oh, what do I got going on? Okay, so yeah, it's really important for me to make sure I know what we need to focus on for the week because I'm supposed to be the lead, right? And when you get up in the morning on Monday, sometimes it's like trying to get your bearings and figure out what's going on. So I try to do my due diligence Friday and write a list to make it easy for myself on Monday that I don't have to like, you know, figure it all out and like go look at everything and get all that stuff lined up. So do yourself a favor Friday and write your list for the next week. That way you don't have to do as much work and exercise to get that brain back and going. Hey y'all. Okay, so when I do videos like this, it's always weird when I don't have any like B-roll in between, and B-roll really helps to like break the video up. So I have to apologize for it being just like me going into the morning and flipping straight to lunch. But I had a bunch of meetings this morning and I wanted to just kind of give you guys a debrief, and I'm having my lunch. So I'm just having a makeshift work from home lunch, a bratwurst from yesterday because my husband grilled for me for Mother's Day. I have some chips and then I also have some Kool-Aid because I like Kool-Aid, and I have a snack for after if I feel like I want something sweet. While I eat, we'll see if I can multitask and eat and talk to you guys without being too sloppy. I pretty much had some calls this morning because we're still in the like beginning of our project. So we're doing a lot of alignment between my organization and the two vendors that we're going to be working with. And why this is so important is because we need to make sure we have our project plans, our deliverables, everything on the same page so that we can make sure we're working to the same goal. It's really, really, really important to ensure that that's like number one before you do anything. So it's basically like project planning time, tweaking the plan, making sure we've got our what's called our WBS, our work breakdown structure, figured out so that you have all of your tasks that need to happen or can happen between each of those major deliverables already identified and planned out and all that good stuff. So it's a tedious process, but it's so important, and it really helps you make sure you are on the right track. So that's what we've been doing. I've got a little bit of time here over lunch, and I need to actually make sure I know what's next. Okay, so yeah, I'm free now until 1 o'clock, and then I have a 2:30, a 4 o'clock, and then I'm done in terms of meetings for the day, but I have stuff obviously I need to do. So that's my little update, but let me eat my food so I'm not really rude, and I'll catch up with you guys in a couple of minutes. Yeah, it does. Ready to eat? You wanna eat? Good boy. Lola, go ahead and eat. Eat. Eat, Lola. Eat. Hello, hello. So it's after work and I'm about to have dinner. I still have stuff I need to finish up my day with, but oh my gosh, he's so loud. So I'm eating dinner and the dogs are eating dinner as well, but everybody else is busy. The kids are playing with their friends, so they said they'll eat in a little bit. Brian is still working. I think he works until 8:45 tonight. And Amana, I'm not sure if she's still here. I was on a call. She was here earlier, but then I'm not sure if she went to work or not. So long story short, it's just me and the dogs having dinner right now. Brian made sloppy joes, so I'm about to have little sloppy joe sliders for dinner. After a long day of project management, you gotta eat something wholesome, right? So I do wanna show you something I've been using for prompting and just kind of helping me with project management on my job. I found it to be very, very value add, and I really, really love it. So once I get done with this food, we're gonna go back into my office and just kind of talk through a couple of things. I'm gonna show you some things and hopefully inspire you with some ideas for ways you can use the same tool to do similar things that I'm doing for your projects or for other work that you may have going on. But first, let me get into this food because I'm hungry again. I'm always hungry, you'll find, but I'm starving. So I want to go ahead and eat this because a day of a lot of projects makes a girl very hungry, and I need to go ahead and quench that appetite. Okay, so first of all, my chair is squeaking. So if you hear squeaking, it's from my chair. I have no clue why it's so loud, but for some reason, all of a sudden it's like really, really, really loud. Or maybe it's just I've started to notice it. But I want to show you guys how to use Chatgpt as a project manager, how I have been using Chatgpt. I have found it to be a great resource, an absolutely phenomenal tool to helping guide you on the various tasks that you need to do as a PM. For me, I just kind of use it to like add on things that I maybe would not have thought about, things that I want to just put the icing on the cake and just make me really shine as a project manager. So let's go ahead and pull it up. I need to get my computer back booted up. I actually have been out running errands. I did some yard work in my outfit. So I'm back inside now, and we might as well go ahead and take a look. So I'm gonna screen record and I'll walk you guys through what I like to do and how I typically will use it. I'm gonna be looking over here, but I'm gonna be talking to you guys. We're gonna use Bard, and then I'm gonna show you Chatgpt. I actually am subscribed to Chatgpt, and I have access to Bard for free. You can sign up to get access to Bard. I think I signed up and tried to get in, and I was let in maybe like 12 hours after doing the request. So if you just Google Bard and then do the request to see if you can try out the current, I think they're calling it an experiment, then they will hopefully let you in. I don't know how many people will be let in or whatever, but worst case, if you have trouble, you can always go to Chatgpt. The reason I like Bard is because Bard has access to the internet and it's able to access real-time information. So let's say if something's changing or if a question you have is gonna need to pull from current events, it has access to that. However, for what we're talking about today, Chatgpt is perfectly acceptable as well, as it is pulling from older information that was put in when the algorithm was created, or I should say, when Chatgpt was uploaded. They did training to it back in, I believe it said 2019 if I'm not mistaken. So it's still leveraging older information, but for what we're using it for, the purposes are still relevant. So all that data should still be relevant. And why don't we think about one way that I really like to use it is when I'm going into different phases of the project and I'm trying to think of creative ways to do the various aspects of the project. So for example, I needed to do a work breakdown structure, and I asked Chatgpt to help me with doing this and giving me some recommendations as to how to do it effectively. So let's ask Bard and see what Bard has to say about creating a work breakdown structure. So I asked Bard, can you help me with tips to make an effective work breakdown structure as a project manager? And here are the tips that Bard has for us. It says start with your project scope, break it down into deliverables. It says identify the tasks required to complete each deliverable, organize the tasks into a hierarchy. It says use consistent naming convention, get input from your team, review and update the WBS as needed. And as you can see, there are additional lines that kind of go with each of those things. So if we go back to the first one for scope, it says the WBS should be a reflection of the project scope. So it is important to have a clear understanding of what the project is and what it will deliver. So these just kind of give you like tips on things that you're trying to overcome. And I just feel like sometimes when you go into the various aspects of doing project management as a PM, sometimes it's nice to get refreshers. And the cool thing is as you ask additional questions, you can get just even more refinement into the feedback that you get from Bard. So let's ask it another question. Okay, so I asked it, when breaking down the project into deliverables, can you share some tips to do this effectively? Okay, so for tips on breaking down the project into deliverables effectively, it says use nouns and adjectives, not verbs. Avoid using jargon or acronyms. Use the WBS at a high level of detail. Use a consistent format. Make the WBS easy to read and understand. Okay, so I asked it to tell me what are some questions I should ask my team when breaking down my deliverables in the work breakdown structure. And this is the feedback that it gave. It says, what are the major deliverables for the project? What are the smaller deliverables that make up each major deliverable? What are the dependencies between the deliverables? What are the resources that will be needed to complete each deliverable? What are the risks associated with each? So as you guys can see, I'm gonna have this on the screen so you can look at this, but you kind of get a sense for if you are stuck and you just need inspiration, ask these AI programs. They are so helpful. I feel like when I'm trying to prepare meetings, I want to get feedback on, you know, just ideas, questions, things that maybe I would have overlooked or would have thought about after the case. You know, when I'm preparing, I want to be as prepared as possible. I want to think about everything from all various angles. And I like to really think about these AI tools as like assistants, you know what I mean? Assistants that make sure I don't forget anything and that I'm most prepared so that I can really excel in my project and in my role. So I just wanted to show you guys a couple examples of things you can do or ways that AI can really help you to be effective as a PM and to really get things done and to think about every single angle of the project. And again, I love using this for no matter what the question is, no matter how big or how small. But the only caveat I will give you when it comes to these AI programs is do not put anything specific about your company, your project, anything that you would not want it to be taken and used in a negative way or used against your will. Like once you put stuff in here, it's available, okay? You don't know where that information is going. You don't know how that company is going to use your information. So just make sure you're being very thoughtful to that and being very, very high level and generic, okay? So that's the only caveat I want to put out there. But I will say overall, I absolutely love it. I would for sure say this is an example of a realistic day in the life of a project manager working from home. This is what my life is like every day. It can be crazy at times. It can be kind of boring at times. But at the same time, I love doing these videos and I hope you guys enjoy them. I've gotten hate in the past from incorporating too much of just my real life as opposed to the PM side. So I tried to make it a mix of both. And if you guys like that, definitely give me some feedback and let me know down below. But with that, I will see you guys in my next video. And before I get out of here, if you are new and you've just found my channel, make sure you become a part of the community so you can get to see my full life as well as additional videos like this in the future. But I'll see y'all next time. I appreciate you and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.